All right, we are back for another video. Today we got Peyton over here. He's going to be helping us out with something. So last year I actually got a livery design, and today we are going to be doing that now that the car is fully back together, painted, and corrected. So here we have it. Just opened the box for the first time, and we have to just pull this out still, and you guys will see what's to come still. So you've done a little bit of vinyl before, so what's going to be our first steps here?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, we just gotta, wipe the car down, make sure there's no dirt, debris. See this right here?
Dirt.
Dirt. If that gets under the sticker, you're gonna see it. It's gonna look like poop.
Yeah, so basically, we're gonna wipe the car down with some alcohol. We got a bottle of soapy water, Mr. Chris Fix, soapy water.
Soapy water.
And then we're gonna start applying everything and just go step at a time. Multi-layer, like print. It's not a print, it's like a multi-layer vinyl cut, so it's not going to be all just one thing going along the whole car. We have to manually apply each thing, so we'll leave the design for a surprise and get at it. Car is wiped down, and now we pulled this out of the box. Here's a little sneak peek of what's going on. We got some pre-layered brands over here, so PBM, Nismo, a couple other things in here. So now we just got to start applying the big stuff and just wet this whole thing down with the soapy water. All right, so we're starting off with a couple of the small stuff. So we made a couple centering marks on some tape. We're gonna do our brands first. It looks like these were made a little short. The guy said there might have been just a miskey of the dimensions, so probably gonna get this reprinted, but we're gonna start off with our logos, work our way down. That way we got a feel of how the vinyl's working before we do this giant section, because don't wanna mess up that. All right, we got our soapy water. Gonna just spray down our area. First we're gonna start this sticker, and then we're gonna peel off our backing here, if I'm not retarded. Slight little mishap there with the transfer.
You'll have that on them big jobs.
You will have that on them big jobs, and you want to spray this as well.
He must have been watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, we watched some YouTube videos for this guy. And now we can just place this exactly where we want. Pick it up, slide her around. And now we got to take the squeegee, wherever that is, maybe in this nice Scamazon package. Come on.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
You'll have that.
You will have that. Look center? Sure. And then you just start from the inside out. Get all your soapy water out of there. And now to see if it worked. Nope. So we may need to use our heat gun to kind of get some of this water out of there. But this is going to be the general idea of applying this. right, so got our main hood stickers on. So now we are going to give all of our big stuff a shot. So this is going to be the harder part of it, to basically lay all the fenders, door, and quarter panel all at one time. So everything's labeled where it goes. This is made by Lazy Racket again, if I didn't mention it. So he labels where everything goes, gives you a diagram of the layout and the order of operations to apply it. So that way you don't mess up your layers. So I'm gonna set this up and get ready to apply the large base. All right, we got our basic layout here. It's maybe a couple inches short in a few spots, but we have our main layout. We are gonna have to manually layer the logo on this just because of the size and to save costs on like the cutting, so it's not complete layering, and it's just pretty hard for him to pre-layer everything of this size. So time to spray this. We're probably gonna do one section at a time and just work our way forward, because if you try to apply everything at once, you're definitely gonna get creases, which we still might anyways, but give it our first shot. So now all of this full base layer is done. We do need to overlay a chrome layer, and that's going to give our main logo in there in chrome. And then we just have all of our base like logos on the hood type deal that's going to go on here as well. So this is quite a pain to put on. We got a bit of creasing and bubbling, but you'll have that with basic vinyl because this is not like a car wrap. This is a vinyl, so you can't stretch it and form it as easily as you would with like a full wrap. So we found out the chrome you do not want to apply wet. It kind of messes with the adhesive, but we found a trick of doing it all dry. So we did cut it into smaller sections and do all this, but this is how we're coming out so far. Gonna pick up tomorrow, still have a lot more to do on the arches, skirts, all the brands, you name it. But yeah, a lot of little bubbles here and there. This is vinyl again, not car wrap, so you're never gonna be able to contour everything perfectly, but overall, 10-footer looks dope so far. So day 2, we got most of our side logos on, or actually all of them. Peyton's working on the back bumper section, but this kind of gave us a lot of help on how to install this. Hopefully we'll do better on the other side, but here is how it is coming out. All we need this is to be a 10-footer for media. If you come up close, you guys don't want to come up close, but still looks cool. Freaking goofy goober over here. Put our rear logo on before the graphics, so we're just gonna make do with that.
We're gonna send it.
Yeah, still gonna be same on each side, but just for the original design, dude messed it up. All right, so we're starting to lay down the first layers on this side. Use your heat gun. It's pretty cold, and then when you kind of see it flash, you might not be able to see on photo, but right around the sticker portion, you'll see a slight change. Get off your heat gun on it. Take your squeegee and just re-put it down. So we basically got to go over the entire area of the stickers, try to get as many creases out as possible, and then set the adhesive with the heat gun just because of the temperature in here. So we'll pick back up when we peel off all this transfer tape. All right, so our base layers are down. Peyton is just finishing up this last little fender portion. And so what we're doing for these red chrome bits is we're cutting out more manageable sections and just placing them separate, as it's not all one big layer, so you don't have to worry about warping as much. And it's just easier to put on separate pieces as long as you know where they are. So I kind of cut halfway through like the wheel arch, and now I can just line it up with the black parts here and just go layers and layers down the car. And that's kind of how we did this side to get an idea. And you can see here, he's kind of laid over. Like some are centered, some are slightly offset, so it's sort of made like a drop shadow effect. So yeah, just copy this, but mirror image on the other side. So we changed our order of operations. We were originally doing the red chrome over the black, but then we figured out that putting down the letters actually helped center it better, and now we're just going small piece at a time, just cutting these out and filling in these little holes. So right now, like this one, I put 2 in here. And it's a little easier to line up like that. And then that's all set. Cut out a couple more and just keep working our way. And got a couple of the brands already here. Peyton's working on the small fender area here with the front section, and we're just gonna meet up at the middle here. We just finished up most of the car here. We are still waiting on our upper hood spots. He's reprinting those, but otherwise, here's the original side that we did. The smaller hood spots that we had, they're the graphic. We end up throwing on the trunk here. Here's the rear. Kind of overlaps the tail light and slightly on the roof. And then here's the secondary side. So this is where we changed our methodology of doing the main logo first and then the red around it. So we were able to get a lot less wrinkles and bubbles doing it this way. And here's all this. So bumper's all good. And then the new graphic should overlay to the front bumper. And then I believe he's going to reprint this just because we need a slight warp to the font of how it's printed. And then I'm just debating on throwing in the combat eyes, and if we're going to throw the graphic on there or just kind of skip it. So we've got a few days to figure that out. But overall, car's looking good. Hopefully run soon. But yeah, still waiting on our transmission adapter parts from Drift HQ. But I do still have other stuff I can do in the meantime. But as for now, that's just going to be it until we hop back over and get our other pieces. All right, so we had a brief week-long intermission. I took a little tuning trip for some R&D. But we got back over here. He sent us our hood graphic replacements. So I kind of just mocked these up roughly right now. Just going to recheck my rendering so I know exactly how to place this. But generally around this, and then we have to put on these separate pieces manually just because of the size. But yeah, going to knock this out real quick and be about done with the whole thing. All right, so this is going to be our completed livery here. Got everything going on. So you can see if you look closely on this side, we kind of didn't have this space in the black section correctly. So this is when we switched over to doing the letters before all the red chrome. So we got it to fit a lot better there, but it's not a big deal because it's not something readily noticeable. But we do have one more thing to put on the car before we finish up this video here. And switch over, blank out our thing, and I'll open this box real quick. So this is going to be the new fluid damper for the SR20s that had just came out. You may have seen this in the Jimmy Oaks video, but so now they are finally released. They are done testing everything. So now we'll pop our hood open, and now we are going to switch out this crusty old stock pulley. It's not really torqued up yet, so just going to knock it loose with the impact and pull this off. All right, so here is the pulley. Looks really nice, good finish, SFI rated. It's going to be pretty simple. All you're pretty much going to do is slide it on and torque her down. So get onto that and we'll show you the installed result. And here is our finished product. Got her all torqued down. Had a bit of trouble keep knocking out the keyway while putting this in, so it was easier to angle it kind of downwards so that it starts in the slot, and then it will kind of level out the keyway as you bolt it in. So that's going to be it for this video. Still waiting on our trans parts. Hopefully that is the next part, but we will catch you guys in the next one.